An audio presentation of Through the Eyes of Finnan Frederick, also known as The Book of Finn. The Book of Finn is a series of 3 novels, Book 1, Book 2, Book 3. Book 1 is titled, I Love You Today, I Will Love You Tomorrow. Book 2 is titled, I Love You Today, I Will Love You Always. Book 3 is titled, I Love You Today, I Will Love You Forever. Read by the author, Tracy R.L. O'Flaherty. This is shared with deep appreciation of all the goodness and the oneness. The copyright number is 1126935, but please feel free to share. Thank you. Introduction. The pages that you are about to hear have been written for you to embrace love in our everyday lives. The words remind us of our own beauty, our own creativity and imagination. The words represent family and friends, strangers and acquaintances. Each word was written for you to discover that you hold your own miracles, that you are a miracle as each of us walk with love to extend. With a loving heart, one can hear the brilliance of all. Soak in the sunshine. Feel that you are as brilliant as the rays that shine upon you. You twinkle and shine like each star to wish upon, and you are the wisdom of the moon. The story was written for you to discover your miracles and your greatness. The story is yours to hold, for we are all Finnan Frederick. We are love. From my heart to your heart, you are a miracle, creating miracles. Book 2, Chapter 1, Ease. The classroom in grade 5 is very similar to the grade 4 classroom. All my friends are back. No one moved away over the summertime. But there is one new student that has moved to our community from far away. She appears to have a slight accent in her voice, and her fair complexion sets her apart from the other girls in the classroom. She looks very friendly, bubbly, and I can see that Charles stares at her just like he stares at my mom. I like our new teacher, though I do miss our old teacher. I really enjoyed his kindness and his compassion for others. This year, my teacher is Mr. Willis. Mr. Willis has a reputation of being one of the best teachers our school has ever had. He likes sports and he is playful in nature. I've heard people in the playground speak about him, and they all say the same thing. I've got Mr. Willis as a teacher. It's going to be a good year. I've picked the middle row to sit in. I've chosen the middle seat in the entire room, thinking it will be fun to be able to look around, but hopefully not get distracted by all the others. I would sit at the back of the room. It seems to me that the cool kids always choose to sit in the back rows, but all the best seats have been taken by the time I enter the classroom. Charles and I entered the new room together, and he chose the seat right next to mine. I am not surprised that his seat is next to the window. Charles stares a lot, and he really enjoys looking outside. So a window seat it is. Charles has become somewhat of a celebrity since his performance at last year's School and Town show. He is now known as the Wise One and has earned the respect he should have had all along. Max has grown an inch over the summer holidays. The girls make even more of a fuss over him. The girls are looking different to me. They look more like grade 6 students. Not grade 4 students. It's easy to notice that many of us have grown over the summer. Take out your books, Mr. Willis says. We all reach into our book bags and find our binders. I love the first day of school. All the pencils are new, the pens and the binders, the books, everything is new. This year I have purchased a geometry set. Now that is cool. I like making the circles with the small pencil provided in the case. My mom had taken me shopping and there were several sets to choose from. I had chosen the one that had a picture of the world map. And you know what? Italy is in the color yellow. Mr. Willis takes chalk out of the top drawer of his desk, a long piece of chalk, even that is new, and writes on the board, Mr. Willis. Okay, class, I'm your new teacher, Mr. Willis, and we are going to have a great year. We are going to learn many new things and to create many projects. You are in grade 5 this year, and times have changed. It's not during grade 4, but grade 5 when maturity settles in. We laugh at his performance. He has a joyfulness about him. It is like he understands what being in grade 5 is all about. I just know I'm going to have a great year. Charles looks over at me and smiles, as if to say, this teacher is going to be fun. Class, I want you to introduce yourself to me, starting at the back of the class and moving forward. Please state your name, what you like to do, and the highlight of your summer. This is to allow each person to get to know you better. The ones at the back of the class are not prepared to be first. Everyone knows you sit at the back so that the teacher won't ask you questions. The ones sitting at the front of the room, I call them teacher's pets, not to their face or anything. They want to be on the teacher's good side. You know the students, the ones that always have the answers, always have their hands up, and are always chosen when no one else is participating. But I sense it won't be like this in grade 5. I think that Mr. Willis will have everyone wanting to participate. Row by row, each of us states our name, interests, and activities over the summer. I say that I am Finnan Frederick, named after my great-grandfather, and that I have a dog, Sky Charles. Everyone giggles at his name, but when I share the story of rescuing him from the animal shelter and wanting him to have a name of greatness, they all understand. I continue to say that I volunteered at the animal shelter over the summer, 3 days a week. The teacher asks if anyone went on vacation. I tell him and the class about going to the Grand Canyon. What a great journey! I share what it was like being on a horse in the heat, the fun my family had all being together. It was an adventure, I tell everyone, like going on a treasure hunt and finding great riches. To my amazement, the new girl says that her family traveled to Italy. She shares her story in her accented voice. Everyone is just staring at her. I know it takes courage for her to share with others, especially when she doesn't know anyone. The new kid in the class. I wonder if I will ever be a new kid in the class. I like her. There is something about her friendliness that I like. Charles is really interested in her vacation story and keeps asking questions. He likes her too, I can tell. He is smiling with his teeth showing. That's always a sure sign. The bell rings, time for first recess. I grab a snack from my lunch. As usual, it is my mom's chocolate chip cookies. My mom wasn't going to let me come to school without a bag of cookies to share with Charles. No wonder he has a crush on her. Charles and I meet outside in the same location as last year. The bench looks a little smaller this year for some reason. We sit and I hand him the bag of cookies. Finn, Charles says in an excited voice, your mom gave me cookies? His face lights up like it's his birthday, like I've just handed him a big present to open. He holds the cookies in his hand and smiles. Thank you, Finn, and thank you to your mom. She wasn't going to send me without any for you, I say. Maybe she thinks you are part of the family, and I nudge him with my elbow. That's great, Finn. Thank you so much. We sit eating the delicious cookies, talk about grade 5 and Mr. Willis. We also talk about the new girl with the accent, wondering how long it will be until she starts to notice Max. The bell rings. Back in we go. On my way home from school, I am eager to take Sky Charles for his walk. I am eager to tell my mom about my day, my new teacher, and to let her know that Charles loved her thoughtfulness and bag of cookies. As I am walking by one of the houses, I realize a new girl has been walking ahead of me, and she's now walking up the laneway to the home. She doesn't live far from me, I think to myself. Maybe I can ask if she wants to walk Sky with me. I won't ask today because I am too shy. Perhaps I can ask in a few weeks. At least I know where she lives. Once I am at my own house, I go in through the front door, down the hallway, through the kitchen, out the back door to the yard where Sky is patiently waiting. My little brother, who had his first day of school today, has come home before me and is already playing with Sky. My mom is excited to have everyone tell her about their day. She asks how Charles did on his first day. I say, "We ate many cookies, Mom. He was really happy." She looks and smiles gently. I am pleased I can spoil you boys. I share with my mom and brother the new girl that lives only a few houses down the street. My mom asks where she is from. I didn't know. I tell my mom that her holiday was spent in Italy. Interesting, my mom says. Italy. I have always been fascinated with Italy. Me too, Mom. I then share with her the map in the grade 4 classroom with the yellow Italy. I also pull out my geometry set, show her the yellow Italy on the case. She is impressed that I have taken notice of such a thing. Well, Finn, perhaps our next family vacation can be to Italy. It may not be until you are in high school, but let's start planning now. My little brother looks like he needs to nap. My mom takes him inside. I get Sky's leash to take him for our regular walk around the block. It's the same walk as always, but we really like it. Maybe now that I'm in grade 5, my mom will let us go further. But for now, we are happy. My mom has given Sky and I the responsibility of getting our mail at the post office. She tells me that it is a big responsibility to get the mail because my dad's business mail goes to that box. Each day we stop in to get the mail. I can reach the box, but my brother can't. He is still very little. The lady who is behind the counter talks to Sky each day. She always makes a fuss when we go in. She will ask, "How are you boys doing today?" And then I will reply, "Very well, thank you." My mom tells me to say that, to be polite each time someone speaks to us. It is very important to my parents that I am always polite and respectful of others. 2 letters today. With care, I put the letters in my pocket. Sometimes it's nice when there isn't mail. Then I don't have to be concerned about losing anything. But I will admit, giving the letters to my dad at supper time makes me feel important, like I can be depended upon and I am responsible.